Darst. Batting seventh, the left fielder, number 7, Andrew Olszewski. Hitting eighth at third base, number 13, Tom Sabo. Batting ninth, the second baseman, number 11, Jesus Gomez. On the mound for the Lakers this afternoon, number 44, TJ Murray. And now the starting lineup for your Fighting Saints. Batting first, the shortstop, number 3, Noah Carrero. Hitting second at second base, number 13, John McGuire. Batting third at first base, number 10, Eric Maffey. Hitting fourth, the catcher, number 14, Jake Lasota. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 32, Scott Hamilton. Hitting sixth, in center field, number 20, Luke Ketchum. Batting seventh, at third base, number 22, Alex Martinez. Hitting eighth, in right field, number 40, Sam Tumulty. Batting ninth, in left field, number 26, Jake Barra. And on the mound for the Saints this afternoon, number 21, Nick Villasenor. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise. Gentlemen, kindly remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Good afternoon from Joliet, Illinois, Dooley Health and Care Field, home of the University of St. Francis Fighting Saints. Terry Bonadonna with you today for some CCAC baseball action at St. Francis and the Lakers of Roosevelt University. Welcome to the broadcast. A single game today, first of a 3-game series between these two squads who will see each other in a doubleheader at Roosevelt tomorrow. Nick Villasenor takes his final warm-up pitches on the mound for St. Francis. Let's take a look at the lineup he'll be facing for Roosevelt and their head coach, Jason Becker. Leading things off is the shortstop, Daniel Gutierrez. He's followed by center fielder, Nick McAllister. Batting third is the designated hitter, JoJo Mack. Trevor Heinlein bats cleanup and plays right field. Jalen Hurd is at first base. Hunter Darst bats sixth and does the catching. Batting seventh, left fielder Andrew Olszewski. Tom Sabo is at third base and batting ninth. Second baseman Jesus Gomez. That's starting nine, facing Nick Villasenor for the Fighting Saints of St. Francis. Villasenor ready to go. His first pitch of the game is over for strike one, and we are underway at 3:06 p.m. Central Daylight Time. 0-1 on Daniel Gutierrez. Gutierrez swings the next pitch, lines it sharply into center field. It drops in front of Luke Ketchum for a leadoff base hit. So a good start right there offensively. For Roosevelt, they've got a man aboard with nobody out. Gutierrez reaches first base in front of Nick McAllister as we get a look at the stats for Nick Villasenor, making his 7th start of the season. It's his 8th appearance overall. He's 2-3 with a 7.16 ERA. His first pitch to Nick McAllister is taken for ball one. McAllister squaring to bunt, elected to take the pitch. Villasenor this season in 27 2/3 innings pitched has allowed 25 runs, 22 of them earned on 43 hits with 18 strikeouts and 7 walks. Pitching out of the stretch, he sets for the 1-0. Look to first base, and now McAllister fouls it back and evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Nick Villasenor's overall numbers this year, not all that impressive. A .344 batting average against him. Again, 7.16 ERA, but since the start of conference play, he's been magnificent. His last couple of starts, he's been nearly unhittable these last few weeks right here on this field, and another start at home today. The lefty is set for the 1-1. Breaks downstairs for a ball, and a hitter's count now for Nick McAllister. 2 balls and 1 strike. McAllister, a .290 hitter, .351 on-base percentage. He's homered once and driven in 14 runs, which is second most on the team. There's a foul back by McAllister, and that evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Roosevelt is coming off of a big victory yesterday. They were in action against Lincoln on a very cold Thursday afternoon. St. Francis is playing its 4th game of the week. Swing and a miss, strike 3. McAllister goes down swinging, strikeout number 1, out number 1, recorded by Nick Villasenor, who finished in double figures with his 11 strikeouts on Monday, or rather last Friday, against Calumet St. Joe's. Here's JoJo Mack, the DH. He swings and misses for strike 1. JoJo Mack's hitting .298, 10 runs knocked in this year. As a team, Roosevelt hitting .267 for the season. They score an average of just under 5 runs a game as Mack grounds it to short. Carraro flips over to second for 1. McGuire to first, not in time to turn 2. So a 6-4 put out on the fielder's choice. JoJo Mack is safe at first base. 1 down in the inning now. Gutierrez is retired on the base paths. And the last hope for Roosevelt to get a run on the board in this early inning is Trevor Heinlein, the right fielder. Defensively for St. Francis, you just met the middle infield of Carraro and McGuire at short and second. The ball's lined foul past third base. Strike 1 on Trevor Heinlein. The third baseman who watched that ball go by was Alex Martinez, and on the other side of the diamond, Eric Maffey plays first. Across the outfield from left to right, Jake Vera, Luke Ketchum, Sam Tumulty, Jake Lasota does the catching for Villasenor, the senior pitcher, who has an 0-1 count on Trevor Heinlein, and tosses over to first to check on JoJo Mack. Mack is 3 for 4 in stolen base attempts this year. This is a team that is not afraid to run. Soda hasn't had a ton of success throwing out base stealers this year. There's a high chopper to short. Waiting back on playing it on the second hop. Carraro throws to first, not in time. It's an infield hit for the Roosevelt right fielder and a tough break for St. Francis. I think that one might have bounced off the plate. It took a high hop in the air. Carraro charged it. Looked like he almost had an opportunity to play it like a pop-up and just wait for it to come down. But he decided to wait back and play it off the short hop. And just a hair late, trying to get Trevor Heinlein at first base. An infield hit for Heinlein. Mack is up to second, 2 on with 2 out. And the batter is first baseman Jalen Hurd. Hurd takes a breaking ball outside, 1-0. Big game yesterday for Hurd in the 16-1 victory over Lincoln College. The 1-0 pitch misses for ball 2. Overall this season, Jalen Hurd is hitting .271. 11 RBIs for the season, nearly half of them came yesterday afternoon. He's got 7 extra base hits. One of them has gone over the fence. He takes a strike at the knees. It's 2-1. 2-0 is a rare count from Nick Villaseñor. He throws a lot of strikes, gets ahead of almost everybody in general. Fell behind Hurd, but he's gotten himself back into the at-bat with the strike 1. Now the 2-1 pitch misses outside. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. Didn't walk anybody in his complete game effort in his last start, a win a week ago. Dangerous spot here in the top of the first. 2 on with 2 out. 3-1 on Jalen Hurd, who takes ball 4 outside. So none of the balls in that at-bat were particularly close. And that's the first walk issued today by Nick Villaseñor. It loads the bases. Hurd to first, Heinlein to second, and JoJo Mack moves up to third base for the catcher, Hunter Darst. Big moment early on as Roosevelt tries to take a multi-run first inning lead, or any kind of lead, as we are scoreless so far. Ball 1 outside on Hunter Darst. So 5 of the last 6 pitches have missed the zone from Villaseñor, who has been a little bit uncharacteristically wild here in this first inning. Darst, a .311 batter. 8 runs knocked in this year. Takes one over the outside corner. A huge strike 1 from Nick Villaseñor. That evens up the count. Darst is one of just 2 regulars on the team batting better than .300. He takes in the dirt, 2-1. So just the guy that Jason Becker wants to see up in this situation. Good RBI chance for Hunter Darst, despite the fact that there are 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Villaseñor was so close to getting out of it with 2 outs and nobody out. Excuse me, 1 on. There's ball 3. 3-1 on Darst. Bases full with 2 down. In fact, the Saints nearly got the third out a couple of times on an almost double play. Mack was able to beat the throw to first, and then Heinlein just barely beat a throw to first base on a high bouncing infield single. Since then, Villaseñor has been wild, but he finds the zone here and loads the count on Darst, 3-2. 7 of the previous 9 pitches had been balls. Now it's 3-2 on Darst. The runners will be on the move with the pitch. Bases full, 2 outs. The pitch from Villaseñor, outside, way outside, ball 4, and he walked in a run. Uncharacteristic inning from Nick Villaseñor coming into play today. He had walked only 7 batters in 27 2/3 innings pitched. Today he walks 2 in a row and forces in a run as a result. Hunter Darst, very patient in that at-bat. He's in no hurry to try to take a swing against a guy who has been all over the place here in the first inning. And the bases remain loaded for Andrew Olszewski. Luca Palucci is in at first base for Roosevelt as Olszewski takes the first pitch strike. That's a welcome sight for Nick Villaseñor. Palucci is pinch running for Hunter Darst, who goes back to the dugout to prepare to catch in the bottom of this inning. Lead already up there for Roosevelt before they even come to bat, or rather before the Saints come to bat. Olszewski swings and misses. It's 0-2. It'd be very hard to take a lead before you came to bat. But the Lakers have hit here in the first inning. They've sent 7 men to the plate. Villaseñor is hoping this is the last one. 0-2 on Olszewski. Chopper foul past third base. It remains 0-2. Just to see an 0-2 count is a big step for Villaseñor after walking back-to-back batters and forcing in a run. Another 0-2. In the dirt, it gets away from Lesota. Here comes Heinlein across the plate. No throw made on him. And it's 2-0 Roosevelt. Everybody advances. Palucci moves up to second base. Hurd is at third. Heinlein the man to score on that wild pitch. And after walking back-to-back hitters, it looked like Villaseñor had straightened out those control issues with an 0-2 count on Olszewski, but the first ball of the at-bat is very wild. Bounces in and away from Lesota. And now a 2-0 Roosevelt lead. A 1-2 offering is lined to the shortstop, gloved by Carraro on one hop. His throw to first is in time to retire the side, but a productive first inning for the Lakers. They get the ball out of the infield just one time, but they end up with 2 runs on a couple of hits. They leave 2, and as we go to the bottom of the first, the Saints will come to bat for the first time trailing 2-0. Bottom of the first inning here. St. Francis has their work cut out for them today as they trail 2-0 before getting their first at bat. Let's take a look at the starting 9 for the Fighting Saints. It's Noah Carraro leading things off and playing shortstop. He'll be followed by second baseman John McGuire. Eric Maffey due to hit third here. He's the first baseman. The cleanup hitter is catcher Jake Lesota. Scott Tumulty bats fifth, the DH. Luke Ketchum is in center field. Batting seventh, Alex Martinez, the third baseman. Sam Tumulty is in right field, batting eighth, and hitting ninth, left fielder Jake Vera. Ball one outside on Noah Carraro. That pitch offered by senior right-hander T.J. Murray, making his 7th start of the year. Murray is 1-4 with a 5.4 ERA. He gets a swing and a miss and evens the count at 1-1. Murray this season in 30 innings pitched has allowed 19 runs, 18 of them earned on 31 hits, with 23 strikeouts and 9 walks. Carraro grounds this one to his counterpart at short. Daniel Gutierrez tosses to first base. First out of the inning. And a good start for T.J. Murray. Murray is a senior playing in his hometown today, originally from Joliet, Illinois. He played at Robert Morris before Robert Morris became Roosevelt. John McGuire stands in for the first time. .357 hitter. Leader on the team, swings and misses for strike one. McGuire's got a homer and 9 RBIs so far this year. He takes the ball downstairs, 1-1. Saints are on a 5-game winning streak, and he has shined during that winning streak. Popped foul and out of play. 1-2. He's got the OPS up over 900 coming into today's game. In fact, the Saints as a team have been hitting the ball much better. Their team batting average was below 250 just over a week ago. It's up to 282 entering today's game. So they're down 2-0 early, but this is a team that can certainly hit their way back. The 1-2. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. TJ Murray's 7th start of the season today is a team high. He's had an up and down senior campaign so far. Swing and a miss. Up so far today as that ball is pulled out of the dirt by the catcher Hunter Darst. Toss down to first makes it official, the second out of the inning, and the first strikeout for TJ Murray. Eric Maffey will come up with 2 outs and the base is empty. This is when Roosevelt did their damage with 2 outs. They were able to get 4 consecutive base runners, or rather 3 consecutive base runners, but a wild pitch on top of that forced in another run. First pitch to Eric Maffey is taken for ball 1. Robert Morris and Roosevelt merged a couple of years ago now, and already we're at a point where there are very few Robert Morris holdovers on this Roosevelt roster. Ball low on Maffey, 2-0, although one of them is the head coach Jason Becker, who made the move in the merger. Longtime head coach at Robert Morris in his 2nd season now with the Lakers. There's a high pop-up foul to the right side and out of play. 2-1. Eric Maffey's another hitter who has been very hot during this recent surge for St. Francis. He's hitting .337 coming into play today. 13 extra base hits, including a couple of homers. That's good for a .526 slugging percentage. 17 runs batted in. And he's got himself a base hit here. First of the game for St. Francis. A solid single on the ground between short and third. And Maffey is the St. Francis first base runner of the game. Here's Jake Lasota. Again, Roosevelt was able to get rolling with 2 outs in the top of the first. St. Francis has an opportunity to answer with the heart of their order up here. 2 outs and a man on first base. Jake Lasota's hitting .337. He swings at the first pitch and bounces it to third. Waiting back on that ball, Tom Sabo plays it and throws out over to first to retire Lasota and the Fighting Saints in the bottom of the first inning. Roosevelt scores 2 in the top of the frame. Saints can't answer. We head to the second. 2-0 Lakers. After 1 inning of play, the visiting Roosevelt Lakers have a 2-0 lead. They'll send their 8, 9, and 1 hitters up here in the top of the second against Nick Villasenor, who was shaky in the first with a couple of walks and a wild pitch leading to 2 runs scoring. This first pitch of the second inning is foul tipped by Tom Sabo for strike 1. Sabo, Gomez, and Gutierrez due up this inning. Tom Sabo, just a 118 batter. He's starting for just the 6th time this year. He's 2 of 17 so far at the plate this season. 0-1 pitch to him. Misses low and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nick Villasenor had just 7 walks this season, none in his last start. Coming into play today, but he issued 2 of them in the first. Finding the strike zone early on this inning. 1-2 on Sabo. Long way to go in this game. St. Francis trails, but 8 innings still to play on the scoreboard as that ball is swung at and missed for strike 3. Sabo is out number 1. Second strikeout of the game for Nick Villasenor. And now he'll face Jesus Gomez. Gomez is batting .250. He takes strike 1. One extra base hit, 3 RBIs this season for Gomez. He's had 48 at bats so far this year. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Good to see Villasenor pounding the strike zone early on here. Since those back-to-back walks, forced in a run last inning, he's thrown 11 pitches and 9 of them have been strikes. One of those balls was a wild pitch that forced in a run, but the positive side again is that he is throwing strikes. It's 1-2 here on Gomez, the number 9 batter. He takes low. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Back to the top of the order, and Daniel Gutierrez up next. Roosevelt tries to get their second straight rally going. Tough start to it, though. Back-to-back strikeouts. 3 in the game now for Nick Villasenor. And he's retired the first 2 batters of the inning. If he can get Gutierrez here, it'll be a perfect second frame. Daniel Gutierrez 1 for 1. He singled his first time up to begin the ball game. In fact, he had a sharp line drive into center field for that single. And he remains the only player to hit the ball into the outfield so far for Roosevelt as he takes a strike. They scored those 2 runs in the first despite just hitting 1 ball past the infield boundaries. Ball outside on Gutierrez, 1-1. The rest of the offense came on an infield single and a couple of free passes. Deep drive down the left field line, cutting foul. It lands out of play. 1-2 on Gutierrez. And Nick Villasenor is 1 strike away from both ending the inning and striking out the side. He got both Sabo and Gomez swinging. Can he get number 3 in a row right here? 1-2 on Gutierrez. Villasenor is ready. Pokes a liner into right center field. A base hit for Gutierrez. His second of the game. So now he's hit the ball to the outfield twice. The rest of the team not at all. So that led to a run scoring in the first inning. I'll try to do it again here in the second. 2-out base runner. Here's Nick McAllister. Gutierrez is now 2 for 2. 2 of the 3 hits so far in the game for the Lakers. McAllister grounds it right to the second baseman. McGuire bobbles it, but has plenty of time to gather and throw to first to retire McAllister. Despite the 2-out single, no real offense for Roosevelt in the second. Saints will come to bat in just a moment. They trail 2-0. Back for the bottom of the second inning. St. Francis looking to get on the board. They trail 2-0. 5, 6, and 7 due to face T.J. Murray. Scott Tumulty will get the first at bat of the inning. Left-handed hitting DH. Tumulty enters today's game hitting .345, just 55 at bats for the freshman, or sophomore rather. Ground ball to first base on the first pitch, picked up by Jalen Hurd, who takes it to the bag and beats Tumulty there by half a step. 1 pitch, 1 out in the second. Murray's gotten quick outs today. In fact, his last 2 have come on 2 total pitches. Got Lesotho to ground to third on the first toss to end the first inning. So he'll face Luke Ketchum with 1 out, nobody on. Just 14 pitches, that's all it's taken for Murray to get 4 outs today. Strike 1 called on Luke Ketchum. Ketchum's the power bat for St. Francis. 8 home runs in 85 at-bats this season, 17 RBIs. He's got 15 extra base hits overall. Well over half of his total hits. He drives this one deep down the left field line, but it drops foul just beyond the bullpen. He'll go with strike 2. Ketchum's hitting .306 with a .694 slugging percentage. He's one of 4 hitters, 4 regulars, I should clarify, 4 regulars on this team, hitting better than .300. And keep in mind, about a week ago at this time, they didn't have any. Been a great week, though. Ball downstairs on Ketchum, 1-2. They were able to sweep Calumet College of St. Joe's. They beat Trinity International on Monday. Five straight wins. Check swing on the 1-2 pitch. On appeal, he did not go around. Count is 2-2. Alex Martinez waits on deck. Murray trying to get the first 2 batters of an inning for the second straight time. He's got 1 strikeout so far today. Here he tugs at his shirt, sets on the mound, ready to go into the windup. Ball just off the outside corner, 3-2. 1 out, nobody on base. Payoff pitch coming from Murray to Ketchum. Long pause before Murray's ready to deal. Now here it comes. Grounded left side. Reaching back to his right. Picked up by the shortstop Gutierrez, and his throw to first is not in time. So Luke Ketchum is safe at first base. Second base runner of the game for St. Francis. Gutierrez took his time on that one as he backhanded it. Looked like he double clutched and ultimately was not able to get a throw off in enough time. So Alex Martinez bats with 1 on and 1 out. Martinez strokes it up the middle, a base hit. That time a solid hit for Martinez. Ketchum advances to second. 2 on with only 1 out. And the Saints right now are jumping on T.J. Murray early in the at-bats. The Ketchum hit was an exception. His infield single came on the 6th pitch, but other than that, they have been very aggressive. Sam Tumulty's got a chance here to drive in a run or 2. First and second with 1 out. First pitch to Sam Tumulty. Taken for strike 1. Sam Tumulty's a freshman out of Willowbrook High School. Ball in the dirt. It scoots away from Darst. Runners try to advance, and they do. No throw made. Ball 1 on Sam Tumulty. It's 1-1. And now runners at second and third on the wild pitch. So a real chance for Tumulty to clean up the bases. 1-1. Called strike 1 and 2. A base hit would score at least one, likely two. Just one out in the inning. The one thing Sam Tumulty does not want to do here is strike out. It's a pitcher's count, though. Ball, 2 strikes. And he does chase strike 3 downstairs. A huge strikeout for TJ Murray. And out number 2 of the inning. Now it's up to Jake Vera. Doesn't want to waste this opportunity. Saints had runners at second and third with only 1 out. Now they're at second and third with 2 outs. Jake Vera is a .290 hitter. Junior transfer from Kankakee. Drops down a bunt, third base side. Good bunt, picked up by Tom Sabo, and he's got no play. He throws back to third to try to catch Martinez leaning, but doesn't get the out there. And heads up, base running by Jake Vera. He heads all the way to second base. Nobody was covering second, so he just took it. Might as well. He got caught up in a sprint with Jesus Gomez. Gomez was covering first on the play because of the bunt. So when Vera realized there was nobody there, he just took off for second with Gomez trailing close behind, but he didn't get there fast enough. So heads up play by Vera as he takes the extra base. He cuts the deficit in half. It's now 2-1. 2 outs bottom of the second inning. And Noah Carraro bats. Runners at second and third still. He fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. Noah's 0 for 1 today. Grounded out to the shortstop in the first inning. The RBI for Jake Vera is number 13 this year for the .290 hitter. He's had a nice productive season for the Saints. A one-time CCAC Offensive Player of the Week. Carraro swings and misses. It's 0-2. 6th batter of the inning. Murray trying to make him the last. Nothing in 2 count. Ketchum's at third. Martinez is at second. McGuire's on deck. Check swing and a ball downstairs and in. Ball 1. Long inning for TJ Murray, even though a lot of the results have come on first pitch swings. He's been out there for a while as he just has not been able to get outs consistently in this inning. One and 2. Struck him out swinging, and the inning is over, but not before a run scores on 2 hits, including an RBI bunt single. We go to the third. It's 2-1, Roosevelt. Nick Villasenor back to the mound for the top of the third inning with a little more pep in his step here. His offense has backed him up with a run. Villasenor feeling good about his second inning of work. He misses low and inside for ball 1 on JoJo Mack. Very sharp in the second. Retired 3 of 4 batters, struck out 2 of them. Now trying to put another 0 on the board following St. Francis' emergence onto the scoreboard. Swing and a miss. It's 1-1. JoJo Mack reached on a critical fielder's choice his first time up. This time he grounds it to short. It's booted by Carraro. Mack is safe on the shortstop's error. So the leadoff man reaches for the Lakers. And the batter will be Trevor Heinlein. Mack today has reached base twice now. He's hit routine grounders to the shortstop both times. This one is lined by Heinlein into center field. That's a hit as Mack pulls up at second base. 2 on, nobody out. That error looming large now as it almost immediately advances a runner to second base. Here's Jalen Hurd. Walked his first time up. Hurd loaded the bases on that walk. Led to a run scoring. He swings to the first pitch. It's hit high and deep out to left center field. Long run for Luke Ketchum. Ketchum back to the warning track. Makes a nice running grab. Mack tags from second and heads to third base. And now heading to second is Heinlein. The throw comes into second and he's out. So Heinlein got a little too aggressive trying to tag from first base. It's a double play. A fly out to center field, and then the out recorded at second as Heinlein tried to advance. Not the wisest of base running decisions there for Trevor Heinlein. A big boost to the Fighting Saints. Hurd will not be credited with the double play, just a simple F8. Heinlein then thrown out, trying to move up. I believe it went 8-6-4. Hunter Darst swings and misses strike one. We saw that happen last inning. It was Jake Vera for St. Francis. He was at first. There was nobody covering second, so he just took off and ended up making it to second safely. 1-1 on Darst. And Heinlein tried to do the same thing here. There was nobody covering second base, but McGuire was close enough to it that he was easily able to make up the distance. Ball 2 on Darst, 2-1. And so McGuire got to second before Heinlein did. The throw was in time. The tag was there with relative ease. Ball outside. 3 balls and a strike on Darst. First 2 batters of the inning reached base on an error and a single. But now there's a runner at third base with 2 outs as Darst takes ball 4. Third walk issued today by Villasenor. Darst is aboard. And they're at the corners. The 2-1 Roosevelt lead comes courtesy of back-to-back first inning walks. One of them for Darst. Darst's walk in the first inning, forced in a run, gave him an RBI. This time it just keeps the inning alive and puts him at the corners for Andrew Olszewski. Luca Palucci is back at first base as the pinch runner for the catcher. Olszewski hits a hot grounder outside the bag, just foul. And it's strike 1 on Andrew Olszewski. That one would have scored at least run 1, probably 2 runs, if it had been maybe 3 inches over to the right. Jason Becker over at third base was pointing fair, but he didn't do it very convincingly, and he was right on top of the play, which leads me to believe that he knew it went foul. Hard to see it from up here, though. It looked like it could very easily have gone the other way on that call. Instead, it's 0-1. Saints catch a break as Olszewski takes the ball high, 1-1. The Lakers have threatened here in this third inning. 3 out of 4 batters have reached base. But they have not scored, and there are 2 outs now. Ball outside, 2-1. Both of their first inning runs came with 2 outs. Do they have a late rally in them again here in the third inning? There's a high fly into right. Tumulty backs up on it. He's under it, and he makes the catch. Inning over. A walk, a hit, an error, a lot of action, but no runs on the board as the Lakers leave 2. We go to the bottom of the third, 2-1 Roosevelt over the Saints. Bottom of the third inning, Saints up to bat, trailing by a run. John McGuire leads things off, getting his second at bat of the game. McGuire struck out swinging in the first inning. This time he takes ball one high. A lot of action in this game so far. We're only in the bottom of the third inning. We've seen 3 runs on the board, could very easily be more. There's been a steady parade of base runners on both sides. McGuire takes a ball low and away, 2-0. McGuire, the leading hitter on either of these teams. He's one guy who has not gotten involved in the action yet. He'd like to reach base this time around. He's got a good count for it. 2 balls, no strikes. He swings and fouls it back. It's 2-1. McGuire, Maffey, and Lasota due to hit against T.J. Murray, who was sharp in the first inning, struggled in the second, but pitched out of trouble. He did allow the 1 run, but the Saints left runners at second and third. He misses low, ball 3. Both sides have 4 hits. We've seen an error. We've seen 3 walks issued by Nick Villasenor. Roosevelt has had 8 base runners through 3 innings as McGuire lines it out to left center field. It finds some green space. A base hit for John McGuire on a 3-1 count. The leadoff man reaches for the Fighting Saints for the first time today. Hit number 5 already for the Saints.
First baseman number 10, Eric Maffey.
So they've had 5 base runners. Roosevelt's had 8, 13 total base runners in not quite 3 innings. We could have a lot more runs on the board than we do as Eric Maffey swings and fouls it back for strike 1. But even without those extra runs having scored, 3 runs up to this point is already a pretty good total from a game that certainly had the potential coming in to be a pitcher's duel. Neither Nick Villasenor nor T.J. Murray had outstanding statistics coming into today's game. Both guys face some tough non-conference competition. Maffey grounds it off the pitcher's mound and into center field. McGuire makes the turnaround second but stays where he is. First and second on back-to-back singles. Fighting Saints have not hit one for extra bases yet today. The last time they played here was on Monday. More than half of their hits were for extra bases. Today they've all been singles, but they do have 6 of them through 2+ innings. Here's Jake Lasota. Maffey's got 2 of those singles, by the way. He's now 2 for 2. Lasota looking for his first hit. He's 0 for 1. Grounded out to third base to end the first inning. Now a chance for some RBIs here for the team leader. Lasota's got 22 runs batted in this year. He hits a grounder to third base. Nice stop by the third baseman, Sabo. He steps on the bag, throws across, and it's not in time there. So they settle for the 1 out, a 5 unassisted fielder's choice, but the Lakers have to be disappointed they didn't get more there. McGuire is out. Maffey to second. Lasota is leaving the game, but he is safe at first. John Peterson comes in as the designated pinch runner for Jake Lasota. Maffey's at second base. Peterson's at first. 1 away. Here's Scott Tumulty. Good chance there for Roosevelt to get at least 2 outs on a hard hit ground ball right to the third baseman. Sabo bobbled it a little bit. He touched third base with his glove. Strike 1 called on Tumulty. I think he was maybe thinking big on that play, and that might have cost him a little bit. Because after the bobble, he did not have a chance to get the force out at second. He tried to get the out at first, but even that was just a tad late as Lasota was hustling all the way down the line. So just 1 out on the play for Roosevelt. Tumulty grounds it to short. This could be 2. A flip to second for 1. Relay throw from Gomez not in time. And that one wasn't even close. So Maffey advances to third. Peterson is out. It's a fielder's choice. 2 outs in the inning. They're at the corners. Tumulty runs very well. Not a hard hit ball. And with a speedy runner like that, may not have even been worth making the throw. Tumulty beat it by about 1.5 steps at first base. So back-to-back fielder's choices. Roosevelt's got 2 outs recorded. If Murray can get Luke Ketchum here, he'll maintain the 1-run lead and head into the 4th inning. Ketchum's a pretty good RBI man himself, though, 17 of them. Runner goes from first. The pitch is in the dirt for ball 1, and no throw made down to second base. So stolen base puts him at second and third, second straight inning. The Saints have had him at second and third with 2 outs. They left him there last inning. 1-0 on Ketchum. 1 for 1 with an infield single so far in the game. He takes a big cut and misses. 1-1. Stolen base for Tumulty right there was number 10 of the season. That breaks a tie with Noah Carraro for a team lead. Little meeting on the mound here between Hunter Darst and TJ Murray, who's been dancing through danger throughout the early stages of this game. So far, just the 1 run has scored, but he's in some trouble here. 1-1 on a hot-hitting Luke Ketchum. Maffey's at third. He singled earlier in the inning. Tumulty's at second. He reached on a fielder's choice. 1-1 on Ketchum. Meeting on the mound is over. Murray pitching out of the stretch. Gets the sign in from his catcher. That ball ripped down the left field line, and that's a fair ball. This should give St. Francis the lead as 2 runs come in. Ketchum heads down to second with a stand-up double. And St. Francis is on top for the first time today. Their 7th hit of the game. It is their first extra base hit of the game. And for Luke Ketchum, results in RBIs number 18 and 19 for the season. He scorched that ball down the left field line. 2 runs batted in, scoring Tumulty from second and Maffey from third. And the inning's not over. Here's Alex Martinez. Martinez singled his first time to the plate. He takes the first pitch strike from Murray. That's Ketchum's 6th double this season. He's now got 28 total hits this year, and 16 of the 28 have gone for more than 1 base. Foul back by Martinez. It's 0-2. That stolen base proved to be a huge play in this game as well. Andrew Olszewski did get to that ball pretty quickly out in left field. I'm not sure if Tumulty would have been able to score from first base, but from second, it was no problem at all. Oh, 0-2 count. 2 runs are in. 3 hits in the inning for the Saints. Martinez takes a ball outside. 1-2. We've seen at least 1 run in every inning so far today. Roosevelt scored 2 in the first. St. Francis got 1 in the second, and now the Saints have struck again with 2 in the third inning. We've now seen, through just a little bit less than 3 innings, a combined total of 15 base runners. Martinez is angling to make it 16 as he takes ball 2 and evens the count. Alex Martinez this season hitting .241. A homer, 10 RBIs. His average isn't high, but that .241 batting average is accompanied by a .447 on-base percentage. Far and away the team leader with 19 walks this year. Here there are 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. He strikes out swinging and the inning is over. Murray's got his 3rd strikeout of the game, but the damage is done by St. Francis. 2-run score on 3 hits. The big one, a 2-run double from Luke Ketchum. We've played 3, 6 still to go here in Joliet. It's 3-2, St. Francis. Roosevelt plays from behind for the first time today as they come up to bat in the 4th inning. Tom Sabo swings at the first pitch, flies it out to deep left field. That sends Vera back just to the warning track, and at the edge of the track, just in front of it, he makes the grab, out number 1. Good start to the inning for St. Francis, and for their starter Nick Villasenor, who gets the first out on just 1 pitch. Sabo 0 for 2 now. And one of the better hit balls of the game for Roosevelt, but one that results in the first out of the inning. Here's Jesus Gomez. Gomez is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. He swings at the first pitch and launches it into left field, but right at Jake Vera. 2 away. 2 pitches, 2 outs, 2 hard hit balls. And 2 putouts for Vera, who had to chase the first one back. That time hit hard by Gomez, but more on a line and right to him. So Daniel Gutierrez will be charged with keeping this inning alive. You can bet he'll probably look to take a pitch or 2 before he seriously considers swinging. He is taking the first pitch all the way. It's a strike. Or it appeared at least that he was taking it all the way. He showed bunt, but I'm guessing that was just a diversionary tactic. 0-1 on Gutierrez, who's reached base twice today, but it doesn't look like this time as he grounds it to short. Carraro over to first, and it's a 4-pitch inning for Nick Villasenor. 1-2-3 go the Lakers in the top half of the 4th. We'll go to the bottom of the inning. St. Francis 3, Roosevelt 2. Bottom of the 4th, and a chance for the Fighting Saints to add to their lead. Sam Tumulty leads things off, the number 8 batter, facing TJ Murray for the second time. He swings at the first pitch, grounds it over the middle. At second base, it is picked up by Jesus Gomez, and no chance to get the runner at first. It's a leadoff infield single for Sam Tumulty. Tough going for TJ Murray. Not a hard hit ball there, but hit right back to him. He had to jump out of the way. The ball kicked off the pitcher's mound. Bounced over second base. Gomez backhanded it. The way Tumulty runs, there was no way they were going to get the out at first base. So it's an infield single, the 8th hit of the game already for the Saints. Here's Jake Vera. Vera's 1 for 1 with an RBI bunt single back in the 2nd inning. He bunts it again, this time to the right side, picked up by Murray, who makes an off-balance throw to second and gets the force. Very impressively done by Murray, an athletic play from the pitcher. And the force out goes 1-6, retiring Sam Tumulty. Jake Vera is safe at first on the fielder's choice. So 1 on, 1 out. Ball's been put in play on back-to-back pitches, and in fact on 5 of the last 6 pitches going back to the top half of this 4th inning. It was just a 4-pitch top of the inning for Nick Villasenor. Noah Carraro swings at the first pitch, and he puts it in play out to right field. Backing Trevor Heinlein up, the right fielder makes the catch for out number 2. Sam Tumulty went back, or Jake Vera rather, went back to first base and tagged up, but elected not to test the arm of Trevor Heinlein. So now John McGuire comes up after Nick Villasenor pitched a 1-2-3 top half of the fourth inning. Murray is trying to do something similar here in the bottom. He gave up the leadoff single on the first pitch of the inning. Saints still have a runner at just first base with 2 outs. They've not been able to advance him. John McGuire bats for the third time. He swings to the first pitch and fouls it back. Everybody has been very aggressive here in this fourth inning. I think TJ Murray is thankful for that right now because Murray spent a long time on the mound in a lengthy bottom of the third inning that saw St. Francis score 2 runs and take the lead. Pickoff throw to first. Vera back to the bag standing up. Murray had to go right back to the mound after that lightning fast top of the fourth inning. It felt like the Saints had a chance to deliver a big blow to him, but he's kind of settled back in now that he's gotten a couple of quick outs. It's 0-1 on McGuire. Top of the fourth was the first 1-2-3 inning of the game for either pitcher. We have seen a ton of base runners in the early going today. Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw down to second base is in time. Jake Vera is out, number 3. So it turns into a marathon-like 5-pitch inning for TJ Murray. The entire fourth inning, top and bottom combined, lasted just 9 pitches. Naturally, no runs scored. We head to the fifth, 3-2, St. Francis. Top 5, Roosevelt coming to bat, trailing by a run. Nick Villasenor coming off of his best inning of the game. Fires the first pitch strike to Nick McAllister. He's retired 4 consecutive batters. He made it through the fourth on just 4 pitches. And now he tries to retire McAllister for the third time today. Nick McAllister is 0 for 3. There's a hard hit ball, but foul to the left. It's 0-2. McAllister has struck out and grounded out. 3 strikeouts so far in the game for Nick Villasenor. They all came the first time through the batting order. Didn't strike anybody out the second time through, but overall was more effective as that ball is fouled off. Still 0-2. Lakers hitters went 2 for 8 against him second time through the order. They went 2 for 7 the first time through. Ball high, 1-2. He's walked 3 batters already in the game, 2 the first time through the order and 1 the second time through. Up to 10 walks for the season as he misses outside. 2-2 on McAllister. Villasenor pitching with the lead for the second straight inning. Roosevelt scored 2 in the top of the first inning as that ball is fouled off. So they jumped out to an early lead, but St. Francis chipped away with 1 run in the second and 2 in the third. The fourth inning was the first of the game that went entirely scoreless for both teams. Another 2-2 in there for a called strike 3. 4th strikeout for Nick Villasenor today. It's the first time he's gotten a Laker looking. 1 out. Here's JoJo Mack. Mack is 0 for 2. Reached on a fielder's choice and scored back in the first inning and reached on an error in the third. So he might be hitless, but he's found his way on base pretty often. So he fouls the first pitch back for strike one. St. Francis 12-18 in the season so far, 8-3 in conference. Strike called, 0-2. Roosevelt is 10-11 overall. They're 4-2 in conference play. 5-2 actually after yesterday, I believe. Swing and a miss, strike three. Mack goes down on strikes. Lesota throws down to first, and Mack is safe at first base. So on the third strike in the dirt, JoJo Mack beats it out to first base. Looks like Lesota's throw was there on time, but he made the off-balance throw trying to get the speedy Mack in a hurry. And it pulled the first baseman, Eric Maffey, away from the bag. So Roosevelt has a base runner with one out in front of Heinlein. There's a fly ball hit by Heinlein into center field. Long run back for Ketchum, and Ketchum makes a nice running grab. Mack was all the way around second base. He races back to first, and he beats the throw back to the infield. But what a great grab right there by Luke Ketchum. He covered a lot of ground, and he made that grab at a very tough spot on the field in deep right center. Still on the run as he pulled it in. Really nice play for out number two. So a runner at first, 2 outs now. And the batter is Jalen Hurd. Hurd is 0 for 1 with a fly out and a walk today, coming off of his 5 RBI game yesterday. He takes ball one outside. JoJo Mack's the man at first base. He's 0 for 3, but has been on base every time up now. Takes a good lead over at first. Mack, we've already seen witness runs well today, and he takes off on this pitch as the ball is grounded to short. Carraro throws over to first. Inning over. No runs, no hits, no errors. There is a man left on base, but Roosevelt is held off the scoreboard for the 4th straight inning. We're at the halfway point of this game, and it's St. Francis by a run. They lead Roosevelt 3-2. Bottom of the 5th inning for the Fighting Saints with a 1-run lead. They'll bring McGuire, Maffey, and Lesota up. John McGuire was in the batter's box with an 0-2 count last inning when Jake Vera was caught stealing to end the frame. McGuire here takes strike one once again from TJ Murray. It's been an up and down game for Murray. Got off to a strong start. Hit pretty hard in the 2nd and 3rd innings. He started to settle in again, though, as he fires a strike. It's 0-2. Did not face any serious threat in the 4th inning. Now he's got McGuire in an 0-2 hole here to begin the 5th. Downstairs, ball one. John McGuire is 1 for 2 today. He has singled and struck out. He hasn't scored a run, but his single did ultimately lead to a run scoring in the third inning. It wasn't him because he was out on a fielder's choice. But that was the turnaround of the game as he takes ball 2 low. They were down 2-0 early, but thanks in part to that McGuire leadoff hit in the third inning, they were able to mount a 2-run rally and take the lead for the first time. That same lead that they still hold. 2-2 pitch. Poked foul to the right side. Still 2-2. A lot of baseball still to be played in this game. A 1-run lead never makes you feel comfortable, but Nick Villasenor has settled in nicely since that first inning, which has got to give the Saints a lot of confidence, even with just that narrow advantage. 6th pitch of the at-bat here to John McGuire. Fouled away and out of play to the right side. Still 2-2. Last inning, Murray threw 5 pitches total. He's about to throw a 7th pitch to McGuire alone. And he's going to throw an 8th as well as he misses downstairs. Ball 3, full count. McGuire, a free swinger, doesn't work a lot of walks, doesn't have a lot of long at-bats. He very rarely strikes out as well. But he's worked the count here. This is the 8th pitch and a full count offering from TJ Murray. And it's ball 4 outside. So McGuire, who, as I said, rarely walks and rarely strikes out, has now done both of those things today. He is aboard to lead off the 5th inning. A nice 9-pitch at bat. That brings him, or 8-pitch at bat rather, that brings him aboard. Here's Eric Maffey. So remember I said Murray threw only 5 pitches last inning. Villasenor only threw 4, so the entire 4th inning, top and bottom, lasted 9 pitches. That at bat right there lasted 8. Here's Eric Maffey. Maffey squares to bunt, drops it down, and hits him on the bounce back in the batter's box. So that's a foul ball. That had gotten him after he left the box. It would have been first out of the inning. But it got him when he was in the box, so it's a foul ball, a strike. It's 0-1 on Maffey, a 337 hitter who has increased that average today. He's 2 for 2. Couple of singles and a run scored so far in the game for the junior Eric Maffey. First baseman who's developed into a really good hitter for St. Francis. Murray's 0-1. Bunted again, back to the mound. Murray scoops it up and this time throws to first for the out. Call that a successful sacrifice for Eric Maffey. He moves McGuire into scoring position with 1 out in the 5th inning. We saw a bunt just last inning. That was bunted a little bit too hard by Jake Vera, back to the pitcher. Murray made a really athletic play in grabbing it and making a quick turnaround and throw to second base. This time he decided to take the sure out at first. Here's Lasota. Jake Lasota's 0 for 2 in the game today. Man in scoring position for the team's RBI leader. 22 of them this season. Time was called before that first pitch. So the first toss to Lasota does not count, I don't think. Should be a fresh count on Lasota here. It's McGuire over at second. And Murray takes another long look in at his catcher, Hunter Darst. Now the first pitch of the at-bat. Hits the outside corner, strike 1. Two of the hotter teams in the conference going head-to-head today. Both teams had losing non-conference records. That's standard for a lot of these CCAC teams that go on those tough southern trips like St. Francis did early in the year. Lasota grounds it left side. Fielded deep in the hole by the shortstop Gutierrez. Long throw to first. Got him. Great play by Gutierrez to retire Jake Lasota. 2 down. We've seen a couple of defensive miscues in this game on either side, but we've seen some really impressive defense on both sides as well. Last inning for Roosevelt, it was their pitcher, TJ Murray, who made the great play. This time it's the shortstop, Daniel Gutierrez. A gorgeous play deep in the hole. He makes the off-balance throw to first off the back foot to retire the St. Francis catcher. Here's Scott Tumulty, who is 0 for 2 but has a stolen base and a run scored. Tumulty grounds it back up the middle and out to center field. Here comes McGuire around third base, and he scores on the 2-out base hit from Tumulty. That was inches in a couple different directions away from either ending the inning or at least holding McGuire at third base. The ball went right under the glove of T.J. Murray. And I had to stop for an instant. I thought Murray might have actually gloved it, but it did in fact go just underneath the mitt. And then out behind second base, Jesus Gomez tried to make the sliding stop. If he had been able to pull it in, it would have been too late to get Tumulty at first base. It would have been a hit, but McGuire would not have been able to score on the play if the Lakers could have kept it on the infield, which they did not. Runner goes on the first pitch to catch him. It's a strike. Throw to second. It's a good throw, but it's not in time. So Scott Tumulty steals his second bag of the game, his 11th of the season. Strike one on Luke Ketchum, but now Ketchum has a man in scoring position. Ketchum's 2 for 2. He has singled, doubled, scored a run, and driven in 2. 19 RBIs on the season for Luke Ketchum. Can he add another one right here? Murray looks in. Now his pitch. Ketchum flies it in the air. Right field. Looks to be routine for Trevor Heinlein. And it is. Heinlein puts it away. The inning is over. But the Fighting Saints tack another run onto their lead thanks to a big 2-out RBI single from Scott Tumulty, scoring John McGuire, who had worked the walk to lead off the inning. We go to the 6th. It's 4-2 St. Francis. Hunter Darst leads off the top of the 6th for a Roosevelt Lakers team that now faces their biggest deficit of the game. Darst swings to the first pitch and lines it softly right to the shortstop. Catch is made by Noah Carraro for out number 1. One pitch, one out. Par for the course for Nick Villasenor, who's gotten a lot of quick outs these last few innings. His last 3 outs have been recorded on a total of 4 pitches. Here's Andrew Olszewski. The left fielder is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out as he takes strike 1. Villasenor is at 75 pitches for the game after this one, with 1 out in the 6th. Ball low and away, 1-1. Good chunk of those came in the first. He really struggled to get out of the first inning. He walked in a run, let another one score on a wild pitch. Fouled off his foot. Olszewski behind the count now, 1-2. But since the first, Villasenor has been almost unhittable. Just 2 singles allowed over the last 4 1/3 innings. And now he's ahead of Andrew Olszewski as well. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Saints trying to win their 6th straight game. Roosevelt trying to win on back-to-back days here. It's been a good week for the Lakers. They came oh so close the other day to sweeping St. Xavier in a doubleheader. They won game 1 and then lost the second in extra innings. Fouled away, still 1-2. St. Xavier is the conference leader. That would have been a big boost to Roosevelt, both to their conference standings and just to their confidence overall. I think they had been able to sweep the best team in the CCAC as Olszewski takes low, 2-2, but still had a pretty good showing against a team that's now 8-2. St. Francis not far behind. They're 8-3 in third place in the conference right now, just a half game out of first, but 2 of those 3 losses did come to St. Xavier. Ball in the dirt, 3-2. Olszewski has come back to work the count full. The other Saints loss came to Olivet Nazarene, who is also ahead of them in the conference at 8-2. But the Saints beat the Tigers twice. Strike 3 called, got him looking over the outside corner. Olszewski thought he had taken ball 4. He does not get the call. 2 away. 6 strikeouts now for Nick Villasenor. It's the second one he's gotten looking. And he'll face Tom Sabo. 4 straight retired by Villasenor. He's retired 9 of the last 10 hitters. Sabo checks his swing and takes ball 1 low. The only man to reach during that string of 10 was JoJo Mack, who did so on a strikeout. Ball 2 rather on Sabo. It's 2-0. So the drop third strike in the 5th inning for JoJo Mack is the only way that Roosevelt's been able to get a base runner these last 3 innings. But Sabo's in the driver's seat in this at-bat. 3 balls, no strikes. Tom Sabo's 0 for 2. Struck out swinging in the 2nd. He flew to deep left field in the 4th inning. He takes a strike over the outer edge. 3-1. If he reaches base, Jesus Gomez will bat next. 2 outs, nobody on base. Sabo fouls it back. The count is full. Back-to-back full counts for Roosevelt hitters. Trying to find a weakness in the game of Nick Villasenor right now, but these last several innings, there hasn't been one. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts to retire the side here in the 6th. So Roosevelt goes down in order for the 2nd time in the last 3 innings. And as we head to the bottom of the 6th, St. Francis leads it 4-2. Bottom 6, St. Francis has the lead. And they'll try to add to that lead here with the bottom of the order. Alex Martinez, Sam Tumulty, and Jake Vera due to hit against TJ Murray, the Roosevelt starter, still in the game. Murray wearing the short sleeves on the mound today. Delivers the first pitch ball outside to Martinez. Alex Martinez is 1 for 2 with a single in today's game. Struck out swinging his last time up. He takes a strike here. It's 1-1. I think Murray's the only one without the long sleeve undershirt today. It's a chilly day out there in the low 40s, but the sun is shining. Kind of intermittently. We do have a cloud splashed sky. Ball outside. 2-1. Sun is hovering over the field right now, though, providing a little bit of extra warmth. You know, these Lakers aren't complaining after playing yesterday in 30-degree weather. A little bit warmer than that today as it's fouled back. 2-2. It snowed yesterday, the last day of March. I don't think during the game, but still unpleasant conditions all over the Chicagoland area. And there have been unpleasant conditions for much of the last couple of weeks. A lot of cold, rainy days. Strike three called over the inside corner. Martinez is out number one here in the fourth. First time that Murray has struck somebody out looking. It is his fourth strikeout of the game. Here's Sam Tumulty. Sam is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. Batting eighth in the St. Francis order today. Came in hitting .263 as he grounds it to third base. Tom Sabo fires it over to first. It bounces in. That's a nice pick for Jalen Hurd. Tumulty retired on the first pitch. 2 away. Martinez and Tumulty are set down. Here's Jake Vera. Vera, the one-time CCAC Player of the Week, is 1 for 2 today. He's bunted both times up. One of those bunts was an RBI single. The other time, a 1-6 fielder's choice. Vera takes a first pitch strike from TJ Murray. 0-1. Murray is looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the game. Ball low and away. 1-1. This is the second time that he's gotten the first two batters of an inning. The first was way back in the first inning, before Eric Maffey spoiled his bid for a perfect frame. And now it looks like Jake Vera will do the same. A line shot into center field. A 2-out single for Vera. That elusive 1-2-3 inning will have to wait till at least the seventh for TJ Murray. Saints put together another scoring threat here with a man at first base. Noah Carraro will be the batter. It's the 10th hit of the ball game for the Fighting Saints. 9 of them have been singles. Noah Carraro doesn't have any of them. He's 0 for 3. He has struck out, grounded out, and flown out. Throw to first base checks on Vera. Jake Vera has 6 steals this year. He was caught for the second time this season, back in the 4th inning, when Hunter Darst threw him out. Darst catches 13% of base stealers for the year. Throw to first base, and Vera is back in again. Saints are 2 of 3 as a team, running against the battery of Murray and Darst. Carraro takes the strike. It's 0-1. Two runs, 4 hits, no errors for Roosevelt. 4, 10, and 1 for St. Francis. Another throw to first base. Murray's being very careful with Vera over at first right now. It's a close ball game. Roosevelt cannot afford to go down by even one more run. 3 might be a death sentence here. With 3 innings of offense left, I feel like they've still got a chance at 2. Ball outside, 1-1. But they want to make sure that this runner at first base does not put himself into scoring position. 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. Saints are trying to put together a 2-out rally here after Murray got first 2 outs of the inning relatively easily. He's fallen behind Carraro here, and he throws back over to first base. Jalen Hurd makes a lunge for it to make sure that ball doesn't get by him. He makes sure to keep Vera at first base. John McGuire will hit if this inning continues. It's 2-1 on Carraro. He swings and misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Murray has gone the entire way so far for Roosevelt. At no point has Jason Becker had to send somebody down to the bullpen. 2-2 pitch. Check swing. Called strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning for TJ Murray, number 5 in the game. And he pitches around the 2-out single in the bottom of the 6th inning. The Saints don't score. We'll head to the 7th. 4-2. St. Francis on top.
Leading off the 7th inning for Roosevelt, the second baseman, number 11.
It's the number 9 batter, Jesus Gomez, to start things off in the top of the 7th inning. Gomez takes ball 1 outside from Nick Villasenor. Jesus Gomez is 0 for 2 today. He has struck out and flown out. He takes a ball inside here. And he moves ahead in the count. 2 balls and no strikes. The last 5 have been retired by Villasenor. 10 of the last 11. He hasn't given up a hit since the 3rd inning. It's a line drive to left field foul. It's strike 1. The Lakers have 4 hits in today's game, but the last one came from Trevor Heinlein, who had a single with nobody out in the top of the 3rd. Since then, just 2 base runners for the Lakers. That ball is fouled out of play. 2-2. Hunter Darst walked in the 3rd inning. And then JoJo Mack reached on a drop third strike in the 5th. And that's it for this Lakers offense. And that's now 6 in a row retired as Gomez swings over the curveball for strike 3. 3 straight strikeouts for Nick Villasenor. He fanned 5 of the last 8 hitters. He's fanned 5 of the last 8 hitters he's faced. Daniel Gutierrez is 2 for 3 in the game, and he bats for the 4th time. He foul tips the first one for strike 1. I mentioned after Villasenor had faced everybody twice that the second time through the batting order was a little bit better than the first. Well, the 3rd time through the order, Lakers went 0 for 9 with 5 strikeouts as Gutierrez fouls it off. Count moves to 0-2. Villasenor trying for his 4th consecutive strikeout. He wants to retire his 7th straight batter. Ground ball is short, so he doesn't get the strikeout, but Carraro's throw to first is in time so that he does get his 7th straight out. 6-3 on the put out there. And a nice job by Eric Maffey to reach up high and come down on the bag. The throw did pull Maffey off the bag. Credit to Gutierrez hustling the whole way. He very nearly was able to beat that one out because of the high throw. But Maffey got that foot down quickly, touched the base, and retired Gutierrez. So 2 down. Here's Nick McAllister. McAllister swings the first pitch, floats it into right field. Coming on and making the catch is Sam Tumulty, and the inning is over. Another quick inning for Nick Villasenor. He has now retired 8 consecutive batters and 13 of the last 14 that he's faced. As we go to the bottom of the 7th, our score is St. Francis 4 and Roosevelt 2. Bottom of the 7th, St. Francis trying to add a little insurance to a 2-run lead as John McGuire leads off for the 3rd time today. He's reached base twice as the leadoff batter in an inning. Both times it's led to a run scoring. Fouls back the first pitch here, strike 1. Roosevelt struck first today. The Lakers got 2 runs, both with 2 outs in the top of the 1st inning. Since then, St. Francis has outscored them 4-0. 1-0 on McGuire. Ball 2. Excuse me, 0-1 on McGuire is ball 1. Count is even. There's ball 2, up high. McGuire, Maffey, and Lesota due to hit against T.J. Murray, who remains in the game for Roosevelt. Nobody warming up in the Lakers bullpen. Nobody has at any point today. McGuire takes a ball. 3-1. St. Francis's bullpen is a little bit more active, although not terribly so. Nobody's throwing. Just a few guys up and milling around down there. Nick Villasenor has been great. He's closing in on 100 pitches. Ball up and in. McGuire walks for the 2nd time today. He had walked only 5 times this year in 27 games coming in. But he's been put on base for free to lead off the 5th and now the 7th inning as well. And the Saints have their leadoff man on base for the 4th time today. 3rd time that it's been McGuire. Here's Eric Maffey. Maffey's had a perfect day, 2 for 2 with a couple of singles and a run scored. Dropped down a sacrifice bunt his last time up. This time in a similar situation, he's swinging away. And he misses for strike 1. He was bunting last time he came up, and that was with McGuire at first and nobody out in a 1-run game. Now McGuire's at first with nobody out in a 2-run game. And it looks like Brian Mahalick's going to let him swing. He does swing, and he rolls it weakly to the left side. Charging is the shortstop Gutierrez, tries to barehand it and doesn't make the play. So everybody is safe. McGuire to second. Maffey is at first. 2 on with nobody out for Lesota. So after having him bunt last time around, this time Mahalick lets him swing, and off the bat it looked like maybe that wasn't the best idea, or at least not the best result, as he hit that little dribbler, but it ended up working out just fine. Tough play for Daniel Gutierrez. If he made it perfectly with the bare hand, I think he would have had a play at first base, although I can't say for sure. It would have been close. But that is asking an awful lot from any shortstop to have him make that play with his bare hand perfectly. So Maffey gets the infield hit, and it's the 3rd time he's on today. Here's Jake Lesota. Roosevelt thinks he'll be bunting. They've got the corner infielders in. He is squaring up. He drops one down foul. Strike one. Saints by a 2 spot here. They scored their first run of the game in the second inning on a Jake Vera RBI bunt single. 2-run Luke Ketchum double in the third gave them their first lead of the game at 3-2. And they added their first insurance run in the fifth inning on an RBI single from Scott Tumulty. Can they add more insurance here in the bottom of the seventh? Lasota pulls the bat back this time and takes a ball upstairs. It's 1-1. Still nobody out this inning. There's that bullpen going for Roosevelt for the first time today. In fact, they're making up for lost time. They've got 2 pitchers getting loose, a righty and a lefty. The righty is Jake Meyer. I haven't gotten my eye on the number of the left-hander just yet. Lasota swinging away on 1-1, flies it into shallow right field. Long run in towards the line for Heinlein. Heinlein pulls up just across the foul line and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. A lot of ground covered by Trevor Heinlein there, but he was able to pull up just barely in foul territory. Heinlein puts away Lasota, who is unable to advance the runners, and there's the first out of the inning. Looks like Jared Galanos is the other pitcher warming up right now. So Galanos and Meyer ready to go just in case Murray runs into any more trouble here in the seventh. 1 away. 2 on. Here's Scott Tumulty. He's had a nice game. 1 for 3 with an RBI single, a run, and 2 stolen bases. Tumulty takes the first pitch ball outside. Luke Ketchum's in the on-deck circle, barring a double play. Both of these guys should have a shot at driving in a couple of runs here. Ground ball to the right side, sliding stop by the second baseman Gomez. Nice work by Gomez, throwing over to first to get Tumulty. 2 down. Defense has been really good for Roosevelt today, and again right there. Maffey advances to second, McGuire to third. That would have been a fine result had there been no outs in the inning, but with 1 out, not what St. Francis was looking for, and Roosevelt got just what they wanted. They will put Luke Ketchum on base for free. He's given the intentional walk. So the bases are loaded, and Jason Becker will have his pitcher take his chances against Alex Martinez, although it looks like his pitcher won't be T.J. Murray as he walks out to the mound. Hasn't made a signal just yet, I don't believe. So this may be a strategic meeting, but they do have 2 pitchers throwing in the bullpen. A righty and a lefty. Martinez is a right-handed batter, so if we do see a change, it'll likely be to get Meyer into the game. Jake Meyer, the righty, warming up down the left field line right now. Looks like we might not see a change. The entire infield is gathered on the mound. And we have not seen a call to the pen, so this might just be a strategy conversation. We'll see as the home plate umpire comes out to break it up after a lengthy discussion. Yep, he'll stick with T.J. Murray here. One would imagine that this will be the last batter that Murray faces, regardless of how it goes down. Credit to Jesus Gomez for that really nice defensive play. Just 1 pitch ago that saved a run. Brought Murray to within 1 out of ending this inning. It's Alex Martinez, who has struck out in each of his last 2 at-bats. He's 1 for 3 with a single in the game. Trying to break the game open with a base hit here. Bases loaded, 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. He takes strike 1. Martinez, a very patient hitter in general, has played true to form today. He's had some long at-bats. Doesn't often jump on a pitch early in the count, though he did have a single on the first pitch in his first at-bat today. He tries to hold up this swing, but he went around as that one drops into the dirt. 0-2, and now Murray is 1 strike away from getting out of the inning and keeping this deficit within striking range. 2-run game here in the bottom of the 7th. Saints have come back from 2 runs down with 4 consecutive runs scored over the last 5 innings. But this would allow them to pull away a bit. Base is full, 2 outs. The 0-2 to Martinez is in the dirt. Blocked by Darst. The count goes to 1-2. St. Francis has gotten big offensive contributions up and down the lineup today. 7 out of 9 hitters have reached base at least once. They've gotten RBI hits from 3 different guys. Martinez is trying to make it 4. 1-2 to the junior third baseman. Strike 3 called. Martinez checked up his swing, but the pitch was in the zone, and he goes down looking for the second time today. The Saints load the bases. They leave them loaded. We'll head to the 8th, 4-2. St. Francis over Roosevelt. Dramatic moment in the bottom of the 7th inning. St. Francis had the bases loaded with 2 outs, and they had a chance to maybe not put the game away, but certainly break it open. TJ Murray, on what is likely his last pitch of the game, was able to strike out Alex Martinez, leave him loaded, and keep this game just a 2-run differential. JoJo Mack fouls one off his foot. He's behind in the count, 0-2. Nick Villasenor back on the mound for St. Francis. He's been brilliant again today. Ran into some trouble with his command in the first inning. Walked 2 hitters, including one with the bases loaded. Threw a wild pitch to score a 2nd run, but has been nearly flawless ever since. Ball up and away, 1-2. He's retired the last 8 men consecutively. The guy in the box right now, JoJo Mack, was the last to reach on a drop third strike in the 5th. He knocks this ball into left field. That's a base hit. First hit in the last 5 innings for Roosevelt. It's their 5th of the game. And a single for JoJo Mack, who finally has a hit to add to what has been kind of an odd stat sheet for him. That was his first hit of the game, but it's his 4th time on base. Last time reached on a drop third strike. This time his single breaks the string of 8 straight retired. Trevor Heinlein offers it the first pitch and fouls it away for strike 1. Heinlein is 2 for 3. Couple of singles, a fly out, and a run scored. He's got 2 hits, and Daniel Gutierrez has 2 hits. And that was it, just those 2 guys prior to JoJo Mack a moment ago. Heinlein flies this ball out to right field, down the line foul, and out of play. 0-2. Villasenor is over 100 pitches for the game now. The 0-2 to Heinlein is tapped foul, just barely got a piece of that one. He stays alive. There is somebody throwing in the bullpen for St. Francis. Nick Clemens, I think. Looks like number 2. Left-hander Villasenor's 0-2 pitch. Chopped foul to the left. And we'll do it again. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Roosevelt. 4-11 and 1 for St. Francis. JoJo Max at first base. First hit in 5 innings for Roosevelt. 13 of the previous 14 hitters had been retired. Ball in the dirt. Good block by Jake Lasota. Count moves to 1-2. Lasota forces Mack to stay at first base. JoJo Mack did attempt to steal the last time he was on. Down by 2 at this late stage of a game. You have to be careful if you're just a solo base runner. Ground ball to second base. McGuire grabs it, flips to second for the force. The relay throw is not in time to turn 2 on a very slowly developing play. But the lead runner is retired, and that's a trade that Fighting Saints will happily make, with JoJo Mack heading back to the dugout and Trevor Heinlein taking his place. They lose some speed there. 1 out. It's the number 5 batter, Jalen Hurd, getting his 4th plate appearance. Hurd is 0 for 2. He walked back in the first inning. He takes a strike over the inside corner. Game 1 of a 3-game series today. Only one to be played here. We'll be in Crestwood tomorrow for a doubleheader that Roosevelt hosts. And the Saints are trying to go into that Saturday twin bill on a winning streak. Swing and a miss from Hurd. 0-2. Fighting Saints, after getting swept in a doubleheader here last week by St. Xavier, were just 3-3 in conference. They were more than 10 games below 500 overall. They have not been below 500 in conference play at any point yet this season, as Hurd bounces it foul. Still 0-2. And they have, since that doubleheader sweep, reeled off 5 consecutive wins, a couple of them here at home. And now they've put themselves in good shape in the CCAC. 8 wins to 3 losses. And starting to approach the 500 mark overall, though they still have a ways to go. Strike 3 called. Got him on the fastball over the outside corner. Another strikeout for Nick Villasenor. 2 down in the 8th inning. That's 9 strikeouts for Villasenor, who finished in double digits in his last game. And he may just do so again today. Hunter Darst comes up to bat for Roosevelt. Darst, the catcher, is 0 for 1. He lined out to the shortstop his first time up. He walked in each of his first 2 at-bats. Villasenor's first pitch to Darst is taken for strike 1. Darst's bases loaded walk back in the first inning got the scoring started. He was the last batter to drive in a run for Roosevelt. He takes ball 1 to even the count. The only other run to score today came on a wild pitch, so just 1 RBI. It came on a walk. Inside, 2-1. Villasenor has put together his 3rd consecutive outstanding outing here in conference play. Did it against Olivet Nazarene, and a game he took a no decision in a couple of weeks ago, an extra inning win. Strike called, 2-2. Did it last week against Calumet St. Joe's, and he's done it today against Roosevelt. He's held them completely at bay since the first inning. This will probably be the end of the line for him. Well over 100 pitches for the game now. Clemens continues to throw in the bullpen. So Villasenor would like to retire Darst here and ride off into the sunset. The 2-2 pitch. Ball 3. Count goes full. Olszewski's on deck. He'll bat only if Darst reaches base. If Darst reaches base, that means the tying run would be on. 3-2. Ground ball to second base. McGuire down to his knee, bobbles it, recovers, throws to first. A low throw, but Maffey digs it out. Nearly disaster for St. Francis there, but McGuire and Maffey recover and get the out to retire the side and get Nick Villasenor out of the 8th. What a game again today for Nick Villasenor. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. 4-2, St. Francis. Sam Tumulty leads off the bottom of the 8th for the Fighting Saints, trying one last time to add some insurance to a 4-2 lead. Tumulty flies the first pitch into shallow right field, and Heinlein comes in to make the catch for out number 1. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Still TJ Murray on the mound for Roosevelt. I was a little surprised to see him. Hasn't pitched a bad game by any means. He has not been dominant by any means either. It's been a struggle all the way through for Murray. The results have been pretty good for the most part as Vera takes a strike. Just a couple of big hits with runners on base for St. Francis, but they've also left 9 runners on, so Murray's been kind of flirting with trouble for much of the night as well. Jake Vera swings and lines one into right field for a hit. Heinlein over to cut it off, and Jake Vera has a 1-out single. Hit number 12 of the game for the Fighting Saints. And hit number 3 of the game for Jake Vera. TJ Murray was in some big trouble in the 7th inning. Bases loaded, 2 outs, but he struck out Alex Martinez to get out of that inning. I assumed that would be the end of the line for him, but Jason Becker has stuck with him. Trying to make it through the 8th here and give his team a chance to win it in the 9th. Or at least to come back to tie it. Noah Carraro takes strike 1. That was only the 100th pitch of the game for TJ Murray. Tosses over to first. Sends Vera back to the bag. There have been a lot of quick at-bats. St. Francis has jumped on him early in the count more often than not. And that has helped him to those 12 hits. He's also walked 3 in the game. Like I said, there have been a lot of base runners. 4 runs in, 9 runs left on base. Roosevelt, meanwhile, hasn't had really any offense to speak of since the first as Carraro fouls it back 0-2. That was after the Lakers put up 16 runs in their victory yesterday. So a different story today as they've been locked up in a pitcher's duel. 4-2, both starters still going strong. Murray surprised me by coming out to pitch the 8th. Who knows? Maybe Villasenor will pitch the 9th. I'd be surprised by that too. Ball high, 1-2 on Noah Carraro. 0 for 4 today. He and Jake Lasota are the only two Fighting Saints without a hit on the lineup card today. Noah Carraro would like to change that here. 276 batter for the season. Throw over to first base. Vera goes back. Jake Vera was caught stealing back in the 4th inning. And each time he's reached since then, TJ Murray has been keeping a very close eye on him. Ball 2 to Carraro to even up the count. John McGuire is in the on-deck circle. 1 out, 1 on in the bottom of the 8th. St. Francis took the lead for the first time in the bottom of the 3rd. They've been ahead ever since. Haven't been able to create much separation, though. Carraro flies it into right field. Heinlein chases it back, and it's over his head. That ball one-hops the wall. A base hit for Carraro. Here comes Vera around third base, held up at the last instant by Brian Mahalik, and probably a good idea as that ball came rifling in from right field, but it's a double for Carraro. And that means he's got his first hit of the game. It's the 13th for the Fighting Saints. Just the second of those 13 to have gone for extra bases, but now for the second straight inning, the Fighting Saints are threatening to put this game on ice. They loaded them up with 2 outs in the 7th. Here in the 8th, they're at 2nd and 3rd with 1 down. Here's John McGuire. McGuire has been retired only 1 time today. He's 1 for 2 with a single and 2 walks. And he may not face TJ Murray after all. Jason Becker makes his way out to the mound, and he has made the call to the bullpen here. So a new man coming on to face McGuire. We'll get you his numbers and the exciting conclusion to this bottom of the 8th inning in just a moment. 4-2, St. Francis leads. 2 on, 1 out, bottom of the 8th. New man entering the ball game for Roosevelt in a crucial situation here. In the bottom of the 8th inning, our score is St. Francis 4 and Roosevelt 2. The Saints are threatening to put this game away once and for all with runners at 2nd and 3rd base and only 1 out. John McGuire, their leading hitter on the season, is coming up against a right-hander, Jake Meyer, the senior from Barrington, Illinois. Meyer is on for the 7th time. He has no record and a 14.73 ERA. In 3 2/3 innings, he's allowed 8 runs, 6 of them earned on 6 hits, 7 walks. He has struck out 3, and he's got the infield pulled in behind him. as John McGuire bats for the 5th time today. McGuire has been on base 3 times. 2 walks and a single. A base hit here would probably make it a 4-run game. He hits a ground ball down the third base line. That's a foul ball, and it's strike 1. 7 1/3 innings here for TJ Murray. It was a constant struggle for Murray, who allowed 16 base runners in those 7 1/3, 13 hits and 3 walks, but for the most part was able to pitch out of trouble. He did allow 4 runs, and the 2 men on base belonged to him as well. The 0-1 in the dirt. Good block by Darst to even the count, 1-1, and keep the runners where they're at. Vera at third, Carraro at second, following back-to-back hits, a single and a double. 1-1 on McGuire. Meyer sets and delivers. Outside, 2-1. McGuire's a .357 hitter this season, so with 2 men in scoring position here, Meyer's got to be very careful with him, but Eric Maffey is just as hot a hitter right behind him. So he doesn't want to walk him to load the bases either, although that would create the force situation. 1-2. Fly ball hit in the air to center field. This is deep enough to score a run. McAllister backs up to make the grab. The runners both tag and advance, and that means another run for the Fighting Saints as Jake Vera crosses home plate and makes it 5-2. Sacrifice fly for John McGuire, who's had a nice game today. He's contributed in a lot of different ways. He picks up his 10th RBI this season. Carraro advances to third base. Jake Vera scores, and it is a 3-run lead, so it hasn't quite put the game away just yet, but that's a big insurance run for the Saints. And they may yet add another with a runner at third, 2 outs. It's Eric Maffey's turn to hit. Maffey is 3 for 3 today. 3 singles and a sacrifice bunt. He swings at the first pitch, lifts it into shallow center. McAllister steps in a few paces and makes the grab. The inning is over. But a good one for St. Francis. They get a run on 2 hits. They extend the lead to 3 as we head to the 9th. The Fighting Saints are 3 outs away from their 6th straight victory. It's a 5-2 ball game. Top of the 9th inning coming up here as Roosevelt will come to bat, trying to make this a game. They've been down since the 3rd inning, and now they face their biggest deficit of the game, 5-2, as the Saints go to the bullpen and call on their sophomore closer to try to lock up his second save of the season. Sam Pileggi on for the 10th time this year. He's 1-0 with a 1.74 ERA. In 10 1/3 innings, he's allowed 2 runs on 6 hits and 6 walks with 13 strikeouts. He faces the bottom of the order here for Roosevelt, and Andrew Olszewski takes strike 1. Olszewski, the left fielder for Roosevelt today, has gone 0 for 3 with a ground out, a fly out, and a strikeout. He grounds this one to the shortstop. Picked up by Carraro. The throw to first is in time. 1 away. So a good start for Sam Pileggi, who is now just 2 outs away from wrapping up this victory. It would be Nick Villasenor's win, and it would be his 3rd of the year if it holds. Nick Villasenor went 8 innings today. He allowed just 2 runs on 5 hits, 3 walks, and he struck out 9. Here's Tom Sabo. Sabo takes ball 1 low. Sabo has struck out twice and flown to deep left. He's 0 for 3. Pileggi's next offering hits the inside corner for a strike. The bottom third of the Roosevelt batting order today, Olszewski, Sabo, and Gomez, including this inning, have gone a combined 0 for 10 in this game. They've got to make some noise here if Roosevelt has any chance. Swing and a miss. It's 1-2. Sabo is now just 2 for 20 on the season. Batting in a crucial moment right here, trying to keep the game and the chances of Roosevelt still alive. Ball low and away from Pileggi. That evens the count on Sabo. 2-2. We may see a pinch hitter next. Looks like it will not be Jesus Gomez. To bat, Sean Blanchard. Backup catcher is taking his swings. There's a swing from Sabo, a fly ball into center field, and that drops in front of Luke Ketchum. So Sabo reaches base on a single and a 2-2 pitch. 6th hit of the game for Roosevelt. That's just their 2nd hit since the 3rd inning. And it'll bring Jesus Gomez to the dish. Nick Villasenor today, to close up the action, retired 16 of the last 18 batters he faced. And JoJo Mack was the only man to reach against him during that time. He reached base twice. But now it's Pileggi, and as good as Pileggi's been this season, this is one of those games, I think, where you're Roosevelt, you're just happy to see anybody else. It is Sean Blanchard pinch hitting. Diego Blanco is pinch running over at first base. So Blanco at first, Blanchard in the batter's box, and the first pitch is fouled back for strike 1. St. Francis got that run in the bottom of the 8th inning, which was a big one. Clear at the time, even more so now with a runner on base. This is not the tying run in the batter's box. Sean Blanchard would need to reach base to get that tying run in the box. Blanchard, a .238 hitter this season. Swings and hits it in the air out to center field. Well hit, but playable. Backing up Ketchum. He makes the catch. 2 down. So the Lakers are down to their final chance here. It's back to the top of the order and Daniel Gutierrez. Gutierrez had singles in each of his first 2 at-bats. Since then, he's grounded out to shortstop twice. 2 for 4 in the game. Gutierrez hitting better than 300 for the season. It's up to him to keep Roosevelt's chances alive. Gutierrez takes the first pitch fastball for strike 1. There's a foul ball off to the right side and out of play. 0-2, and the Lakers are down to their final strike. Pileggi trying to lock down the save after a brilliant performance from Nick Villasenor, his 3rd straight. Great start. Runner at first base, 2 down. 0-2 on Gutierrez, and he takes ball 1 low and in. Fighting Saints trying to pick up their 13th victory of the year. Roosevelt has a chance today to get back to 500, but that chance is fading. The 1-2 is fouled away. Still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Gutierrez will make sure that if Roosevelt goes down here, they'll go down fighting. You'll see a 5th pitch in this at-bat. Immediately fell behind in the count 0-2, but he's kept it alive. Pileggi trying to put him away. Another 1-2. Check swing on a ball up high. The count goes even. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Blanco's at first base. Pinch runner for Tom Sabo, who singled with 1 out in this 9th inning. All 6 hits for Roosevelt today have been singles. 2-2, lined to the left side, gloved on 1 hop by the shortstop Carraro. He throws to second, and there's your ball game. St. Francis wins 5-2, the final score on the 6-4 fielder's choice. 3rd time today that Gutierrez grounded out to the shortstop, and the last one is the sweetest for the Fighting Saints. The 3rd out of the inning, and the 27th of the ball game wraps up the victory for the Fighting Saints. Sam Pileggi gets the save for Nick Villasenor, who went 8 in the ball game today. Just a really impressive performance all around by the Fighting Saints today as they clawed their way back from an early 2-run deficit. They fought back against TJ Murray, who fought gamely in this game. Murray was in trouble a lot, but he rarely succumbed to that trouble. He did so just enough, though, that the Saints were able to come away with the victory. As we go back over the scoring in this one, Roosevelt scored the first 2 of the game. It happened in the 1st inning. It happened with 2 outs. They had a runner at first and 2 outs. Nick Villasenor, who very rarely walks guys, was in good position to put the inning away, but he issued a 2-out free pass to Jalen Hurd, and then with the bases loaded, following a single from Trevor Heinlein, a walk to Hunter Darst. So 2 walks in the inning, one of them forced in a run, and then with Andrew Olszewski in the batter's box, a wild pitch brought home another run. It was 2-0 in favor of the Lakers. Saints got their first run on the board in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Luke Ketchum and Alex Martinez singled. Jake Vera, with runners at 2nd and 3rd, came up with an RBI bunt base hit, and that made it a 1-run game. Then in the 3rd inning, with 2 on and 2 out, Luke Ketchum came up big. A 2-run double brought home Maffey and Tumulty and made it a 3-2 St. Francis lead, a lead they would not relinquish the rest of the way. They added to it in the 5th inning. John McGuire walked. He moved to second on sacrifice bunt, and again with 2 outs in the inning, an RBI single from Scott Tumulty brought home the run. It made it 4-2. The first 4 runs for the Fighting Saints all came on 2-out RBI hits. Their last run did not come with 2 outs, but it was pretty much all decided by then. In the bottom of the 8th, with a runner at 3rd and 1 out, John McGuire hit a sacrifice fly out to center field, and that finished the scoring in the game. The pitching for the Fighting Saints was brilliant after that 1st inning. 2 runs on 2 hits and 2 walks in the 1st inning, and Roosevelt over the final 8 innings managed just 4 more hits and just 6 total base runners over that 8-inning stretch. Nick Villasenor retired 16 of the last 18 batters he faced in the game. Meanwhile, Sam Pileggi came on in the 9th, and he was sharp. Gave up the 1-out single to Tom Sabo, but nothing more, as that runner did not advance past first base. And it kept the final score in St. Francis's favor. Our final totals today: Roosevelt 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. St. Francis 5, 13, and 1. Nick Villasenor is the winning pitcher, 3-3 on the season, as he allowed just 2 runs over 8 innings pitched. The losing pitcher today is TJ Murray. He allowed all 5 runs over 7 1/3 innings. Murray falls to 1-5 on the season. And Sam Pileggi picks up his 2nd save of the year, pitching a scoreless 9th. With the win, St. Francis is now 13-18 overall on the year. They are 9-3 on conference. They've won 6 games consecutively. Roosevelt falls to 10-12 overall, or 11-12 rather. They are now 5-3 in CCAC play for the season. These two will play a couple more games. They'll do it tomorrow, and they'll do it at Roosevelt. But that's going to do it for today's broadcast from Joliet. St. Francis victorious by a final score of 5-2. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully enjoy the rest of your Friday. This is Terry Bonadonna signing off from Joliet. I'll talk to you again next time.